Chosen one, you've got this person going crazy, so terrified of being exposed that they're threatening people and doing everything imaginable to keep their mess from coming to light. Right now, someone is pacing, shaking, rereading old conversations, trying to figure out how to stop the truth they created from turning on them. Exposure is happening without your participation. Your innocence shines through effortlessly, while their darkness is dragged into the light. And the worst part for them, your intuition called all of this long before the first mask slipped. Your intuition whispered warnings. That shift in energy felt too deliberate to be coincidence. The sensation that conversations were happening behind closed doors, the knowing that secret meetings were taking place with you as the central topic. Chosen one, your discernment was absolutely accurate. Meetings did occur. Multiple people gathered specifically to coordinate your downfall. This wasn't organic conflict developing naturally. This was calculated warfare, systematic, intentional. Access to your personal information was shared among participants. Social media activity was monitored closely. Fake profiles were created for surveillance purposes. Your movements became objects of study. Your routines were learned and analyzed. Strategies were discussed on how to damage your public perception, how to dismantle your reputation piece by piece, how to ensure isolation became your reality. Consider the depth of that coordinated malice. Multiple individuals dedicating mental space and physical time to destroying someone whose only offense was existing authentically, someone whose crime was being powerful in truth, someone whose fault was being chosen. Your light exposed uncomfortable truths about their darkness, so extinguishing your light became their mission. Coordination matched military precision. Everyone received assignments. Everyone contributed to the toxic campaign. The twisted irony, some wore friendly masks. Concern colored their voices when addressing you directly. Care seemed genuine in their expressed words. Meanwhile, behind those masks, character assassination was their active participation. Pure fakeness embodied, betrayal personified, envy made flesh. What you possessed naturally couldn't be achieved through their methods, so destruction became the alternative strategy. What escaped their calculations? Your truth carries more weight than manufactured lies. Your light burns brighter than assembled darkness. Your spirit receives protection from forces beyond human comprehension. All that careful plotting, all that detailed coordination, all that strategic scheming, watch it backfire with spectacular intensity. Consequences are landing on the architects now. Someone specific occupies space in this situation. Someone who was supposed to stand beside you. Someone who should have offered protection when attacks came. Someone who carried the role of being your person. But seduction happened. Persuasion worked. The web of lies caught them, and chosen one. This betrayal cuts with unique sharpness. Manipulation found fertile ground in this person's mind. The poison was consumed willingly. The false narrative became their accepted truth. Instead of defending what experience had shown them about your character, belief in the worst became their choice. Commitment to the wrong side was made. Now regret drowns them in waves that never recede. Their escapade seemed justified at the time. Liberation was the illusion. Teaching you a lesson felt righteous in their distorted perception. Getting revenge appeared deserved. Proving some twisted point gave them temporary satisfaction. Reckless movement defined their actions. Decisions were made that revealed authentic character when pressure applied. Bridges were burned with flames that can't be extinguished. Reality crashed through their delusions eventually. Your actual innocence became undeniable. Everything you expressed turned out to be factual truth. The people who turned them against you revealed themselves as the real manipulators. Awakening came with the sickening recognition that something genuine was destroyed for something completely fabricated. Real love was traded for toxic drama. Peace was exchanged for chaos. Truth was sacrificed for lies. No path leads back from that destruction. Concentration has become impossible for this person. Proper functioning slipped away. Everywhere attention turns, evidence of your innocence confronts them, proof that deception targeted them accumulates. Receipts show your truth was spoken all along. The overwhelming nature of this realization destroys from within. Knowledge of the mistake is inescapable. Knowledge of choosing wrong haunts every moment. Knowledge of betraying someone genuine for toxic people torments constantly. Your ascension to higher purpose is visible from their distance. Rising is what you're doing. Glowing is how you appear. Thriving is your current state. Genuine people surround your space, while toxic individuals trap theirs. Peace defines your existence, while constant drama defines theirs. Confirmation arrives daily that something irreplaceable was lost, something that will never be encountered again was destroyed. A diamond was given up for a worthless rock, and now that rock sits heavy in their possession. The masterminds behind this operation believed themselves untouchable. Award-worthy performances were their specialty, pretending to need rescue, acting victimized, fishing for sympathy and sensitive information, playing wounded when inflicting wounds defined their actual role. Convincing portrayals made people believe every false word. Building houses on lies guarantees eventual collapse. Poisoning perceptions without getting caught proves impossible long-term. Pretending spirituality while operating in darkness eventually brings light-based exposure. And right now, chosen one, exposure manifests in real time before everyone's eyes. If this resonates with your inner knowing, hype this video to help fellow chosen ones find their way here. What I call the unraveling is consuming them currently. Stories contradict each other openly. Timelines refuse to match up properly. Evidence fails to support their claims. People who once believed everything now ask questions, real questions, hard questions, questions without good answers, because lies formed the foundation. Watch how control slips from their grasp. Backtracking on previous statements becomes necessary. Softening accusations becomes the new strategy. Claims of misunderstanding or context removal emerge conveniently. Sudden uncertainty replaces former absolute certainty. Confidence evaporates visibly. Boldness disappears noticeably. Certainty crumbles publicly. Panic sets in because knowledge of what's coming haunts them. When full truth emerges, reputation finishes, credibility destroys, influence ends. All those people convinced to turn against you, those same people will turn on the manipulators with doubled intensity. All that gathered support, dissolution like sugar in hot water approaches. All that perceived power, vanishing like smoke in wind, becomes reality. Damage control mode activates desperately. History rewriting attempts are made frantically. Narrative softening becomes the mission. Overtime work to maintain illusions exhausts them, but timing ran out already. Cracks show everywhere. Foundations crumble visibly. Houses of cards fall spectacularly. Everyone starts seeing what you saw from the beginning. The problem was never you. The problem was always them. When liars face exposure, when manipulators lose control, when performers realize shows are ending, danger emerges. Right now, someone makes serious threats to keep truth buried. A person in their inner circle knows everything. This person attended those secret meetings. This person helped coordinate attacks. This person participated in spreading poison. But conscience bothers them now, or perhaps betrayal by the masterminds themselves changed perspective. Either way, this person threatens to expose everything. Promises to go public with group chats, coordination details, lies, manipulation tactics, readiness to show receipts that will demolish the entire operation. The main manipulator, losing their mind completely, doing whatever it takes to keep this person quiet, offering things never offered before, making promises with no intention of keeping them, using whatever leverage can be found, kissing up to someone they despise, pretending to reconcile with someone they hate, acting concerned when terror is the real emotion, putting on fake apologies without genuine remorse backing them, feeling bad about getting caught, not about what was done to you. Watch current movements carefully, sweet-talking the threatening person, attempting seduction into silence, offering body, resources, whatever buys time, playing nice with toxic people because those toxic people hold destruction power. Desperate desire to ghost this person exists, but impossibility prevents it. This person holds exposure keys. Major blackmail energy saturates this situation. Someone threatening the truth unless demands are met. Someone holding information hostage. Someone using knowledge as weaponry. The mastermind scrambles trying to control situations spiraling beyond grasp. Meanwhile, you remain peaceful, no scrambling on your part, no panic consuming you, no threats or desperate deals needed. You ascend while dissent claims them, you thrive while bare survival defines them. Peace characterizes you, while turmoil characterizes them. See the difference? Operating in truth versus operating in lies produces these contrasting results. Truth brings peace, lies bring chaos. Their chaos approaches critical mass rapidly. Chosen one, your discernment maintained accuracy consistently. That feeling you experienced, that energy you detected, that sense of wrongness, correctness defined all of it. Someone acted recklessly. Someone's behavior spiraled out of control. Someone created distance while pretending normalcy. Someone moved messily every time your presence wasn't around them. Trust couldn't be extended to this person. You recognized patterns developing. You saw behavior when observation wasn't assumed. You picked up on poisoned thoughts about you infiltrating their mind. Wisdom to acknowledge reality instead of making excuses showed your strength. You saw situations for what they were, even when seeing hurt deeply. This person felt permission to move recklessly with you because enemy narratives were purchased completely. Justification for betrayal seemed real to them. Teaching lessons or getting revenge or proving points appeared righteous. Entitlement to hurt you existed because villain roles were assigned to you in their distorted story. But reality sets in now. Truth surfaces currently. Facts undergo examination presently. Realization dawns that being played was their experience. Being manipulated was their reality. Being used as pawns in someone else's game was their role. Destroying something real for something completely fake was their action. Guilt overwhelms now. Regret suffocates constantly. Shame proves unbearable. Denial becomes impossible. Excuses can't be manufactured. Blame can't be placed elsewhere. Knowledge of being wrong is certain. Knowledge of choosing wrong is clear. Knowledge of moving wrong is undeniable. Knowledge that no path back exists is torturous. Your ascension to higher purpose becomes visible from their distance. Rising is your activity, glowing is your appearance, thriving is your state. Genuine people surround you while toxic people trap them. Peace is yours while constant drama is theirs. Confirmation comes repeatedly that something irreplaceable was lost. Something that will never be found again was destroyed. Diamonds were traded for rocks, and now those worthless rocks sit heavy in hands. Nothing you did wrong motivated this attack. Who you are created the threat. Your very existence exposed their darkness. Your peace highlighted their chaos. Your truth contradicted their lies. Your genuine nature made their fake performances obvious. Doing nothing to these people was necessary. Just being yourself proved threatening enough. Your energy couldn't be tolerated. Your success couldn't be handled. Your peace couldn't be accepted. Your happiness couldn't be borne. Your growth couldn't be celebrated. So destruction attempts were made. Coordinated attacks were necessary because lone individuals proved insufficient. Multiple people were needed. Coordination was required. Planning was essential. Strategy became mandatory. Because your power is that strong, your protection is that real, your strength is that formidable. Think about the implications. Enemy alliances had to form just to attempt bringing you down. Secret meetings were required. Strategy sessions became necessary. Combined efforts were mandatory. Pooled resources became essential. Coordinated attacks had to be launched. And even with all that coordination, failure resulted. Even with all that planning, breaking you proved impossible. Even with all that effort, dimming your light couldn't be achieved. Power belongs to you, not weakness, not vulnerability, not fragility. Power, strength, divine protection operating on levels beyond human comprehension. You're not just anyone, chosen one. Coverage comes from forces invisible to human eyes. Protection flows from energy inaccessible to ordinary people. Defense arrives from powers they can't fight. Now lessons are being learned the hard way. While your downfall was being plotted, your elevation was being orchestrated by the universe. While lies about you were spreading, truth about them was being distributed. While your reputation was targeted for poisoning, your path was being purified. While attempts to block your blessings were made, their access to you was being blocked. Divine justice doesn't play games. Spiritual laws don't bend. Cosmic balance doesn't fail. Fighting these battles personally is unnecessary. Defending yourself is not required. Proving innocence is not your responsibility. Exposing anyone is not your job. Seeking revenge is not your path. Your only requirement is continuing to be yourself. Keep walking in truth. Keep shining light. Keep maintaining peace. Universe handles everything else. But let's go deeper into why your power terrified them so completely. See, chosen one, you carry something they can never possess through manipulation or coordination. Authenticity. That word gets thrown around casually, but in your case, it's weaponized truth. Every interaction you have is genuine. Every word you speak carries weight, because dishonesty doesn't live in your mouth. Every move you make comes from a place of integrity that they can't comprehend. This authenticity is what made you dangerous to their operation. Lies require everyone in the room to participate in the delusion. But you walked in, and just by existing in your truth, you disrupted the entire frequency. You didn't even have to call out the lies directly. Your presence did it automatically. Like light entering a dark room doesn't have to announce itself, it just is. And darkness has no choice but to retreat. They felt this disruption viscerally. When you were around, their masks felt heavier, their performances felt more exhausting, their lies felt more obvious. You became a mirror they couldn't avoid, reflecting back all the fakeness they worked so hard to hide. And instead of looking in that mirror and choosing to change, they decided to try and shatter it, to destroy the reflection rather than face what it revealed about them. That's why the threats intensified as your light grew brighter. The more you stepped into your power, the more desperate their attempts became. The more you embraced your truth, the more violent their reactions grew. The more you ascended, the more they scrambled to pull you down. Because your elevation wasn't just about you rising, it was about their darkness being exposed in the process. Your success proved their lies were just that, lies. Consider what it means that they're now threatening people to stay quiet. That level of desperation reveals how much power you actually hold. If you were truly the villain they painted you as, no threats would be necessary. Truth would defend itself. But because their entire narrative was fiction, force becomes necessary, intimidation becomes the tool, threats become the weapon. Because without those elements, their story collapses completely. And watch how the universe responds to these threats. Every threat made creates more karma. Every intimidation attempt generates more consequences. Every desperate move to silence truth just amplifies it louder. They're literally creating the very exposure they're trying to prevent. Every action taken to avoid being revealed just reveals more. It's like watching someone dig frantically while standing in a hole, not realizing every shovel of dirt just makes the hole deeper. Your power is also in your restraint. You could expose them yourself. You probably have receipts. You likely have evidence. You certainly have your own story to tell. But you don't need to scream your truth. You don't need to blast them publicly. You don't need to gather your own army of supporters to fight your battles. Why? Because truth doesn't require force. Truth doesn't need amplification. Truth doesn't beg for belief, truth just exists, and eventually, inevitably, absolutely, truth surfaces on its own. This restraint they mistake for weakness. They think your silence means you have nothing to say. They think your peace means you don't know what's happening. They think your continued elevation means you're oblivious to their threats and schemes. But chosen one, your silence is strategic, your peace is powerful, your elevation is evidence. You're not quiet because you're weak, you're quiet because you're strong enough to let the universe fight for you. And that's the power that truly terrifies them, someone who doesn't need to defend themselves because defense comes from higher sources, someone who doesn't need to prove themselves because proof manifests through divine timing. Someone who doesn't need to fight back because victory is already guaranteed. That's a level of power they can't touch, can't manipulate, can't defeat, and they know it. Now let me put you onto something real. Destiny Engine. I built this because I was done watching chosen ones get dragged through betrayal, isolation and attacks while their enemies strutted around unchecked. I want to help you accelerate the speed of your divine justice and step fully into your purpose. And the beauty of it, you don't even have to lift a finger. Destiny Engine takes their downfall and flips it into your rise. This isn't another meditation app. It's declassified consciousness technology, the same mind programming tools your enemies once used to install fear, competition and scarcity, re-engineered to restore your sovereignty and align you with the cooperative, upgraded operating framework. It generates personalized sequences mapped to your divine purpose. The hardest thing you'll do is put on headphones, press play and watch your enemies keep digging their own grave. The collective upgrade is underway. Start your Destiny Engine for $1 today and turn everything they did to break you into fuel for your rise. Link in the description. Watch what happens when someone tries to dim a light that's connected to the source of all light. The source just shines brighter through that person. Every attack meant to diminish you just illuminates you more. Every lie told about you just makes your truth more obvious. Every attempt to isolate you just attracts more genuine connections your way. The universe has a way of turning every weapon formed against you into a tool for your elevation. This is why their panic is so intense right now, not just because exposure is coming, but because they're realizing they never stood a chance. From the very beginning, this was a fight they couldn't win. You were always going to rise, they were always going to fall. Your truth was always going to emerge, their lies were always going to crumble, your light was always going to shine, their darkness was always going to be exposed. This was never a fair fight, because they brought human manipulation to a spiritual war, and spirit always wins. Karma doesn't just return. Multiplication happens, amplification occurs, interest accumulates. Everything attempted against you now happens to them, but worse, every trap set now catches them, every pit dug now becomes their grave, every weapon formed now backfires spectacularly. Rejection was desired for you. Rejection by people they thought loyal now happens to them. Isolation was intended for you. Isolation that feels maddening now defines their experience. Breaking you was the goal. Breaking down mentally and emotionally now characterizes them. Financial struggle was wished for you. Money slipping mysteriously through fingers now plagues them. Relationship drama was hoped for you. Toxic situations they can't escape now trap them. Coincidence doesn't explain this. Consequence does. Coming against protected people produces these results. Plotting against chosen ones yields these outcomes. Attempting destruction of anointed individuals guarantees these consequences. Universe doesn't just defend chosen ones. Threat removal happens. Enemy blocking occurs. Door closing manifests. Supporter transformation into critics takes place. Platform transformation into prisons happens. Watch what's happening to reputation currently. Same people convinced to turn against you now question the manipulators. Same people who supported false narratives now demand proof. Same people who believe performances now see through acts. Credibility evaporates. Influence disappears. Power dissolves. Understanding will come to them eventually. You don't touch chosen ones. You don't plot against protected people. You don't try destroying someone operating in divine purpose. Because doing so means not just fighting that person. Fighting the forces covering them becomes reality. Battling the energy protecting them becomes necessary. Opposing the power elevating them becomes required. And that fight, victory is impossible. Ever. The mastermind who orchestrated this, experiencing what I call soul unraveling. Sleep comes poorly. Eating happens with stomach turning. Focus on anything proves impossible because racing minds keep returning to their actions. Money loss happens. Support loss occurs. Credibility loss manifests. Peace loss defines existence. Everything attempted against you now leaves them. No stopping this exists. No manipulation works. No lies stick. No performances convince. The karma train left the station with no stops until justice completes fully. You're ascending, chosen one. Not because proving anything motivates you. Not because seeking revenge drives you. Not because competing with anyone interests you. But because maintaining integrity through trials produces this result. Staying true despite attacks creates this outcome. Keeping light shining despite dimming attempts generates this reality. Doors open that were previously closed. Opportunities appear that weren't there before. People show up who genuinely appreciate you. Blessings flow that you didn't request. Favor manifests in unexpected ways. Resources come from unanticipated sources. Connections form that align with purpose. Everything works in your favor. Randomness doesn't explain this. Divine order does. Universe rewarding you for passing tests explains this. Cosmic justice balancing scales creates this. Spiritual energy elevating you to belonging places manifests this. Testing happened, trials occurred, refining took place, and passing resulted. Character maintenance under pressure happened. Integrity keeping despite betrayal occurred. Peace holding despite chaos manifested. Light protecting despite darkness succeeded. Now promotion comes, elevation arrives, expansion manifests, upgrading happens, transformation occurs, everything lost returns in greater measure, everything stolen comes back with increase, everything damaged rebuilds stronger, everything poisoned becomes purified completely. Your enemies watch this from distance. Seeing you succeed while struggling defines their experience. Witnessing you thrive while barely surviving characterizes their reality. Observing you at peace while being in constant turmoil marks their existence. Watching you surrounded by genuine people while being stuck with users and manipulators defines their situation. Seeing you living purpose while being lost in confusion is their current state. Confirmation of what was always feared arrives repeatedly. You were always meant to win. Defeat was always their guarantee. Your victory was always inevitable. Their failure was always certain. Because human power doesn't drive you, personal strength doesn't move you. Individual strategy doesn't create your victories. Connection to something greater defines you. Coverage by something higher protects you. Protection by something divine elevates you. That person who betrayed you, the one seduced by enemies, the one who chose wrong. Personal hell is their current residence. Not literal hell, but mental and emotional torment defines existence. Nothing you're doing creates this punishment. You moved on. Thriving defines you. Peace characterizes you. Their hell is self-created, natural consequences of choices made. Stopping thoughts about you proves impossible. Stopping comparisons between current situations and what existed with you can't happen. Stopping recognition of what was lost is unachievable. Every day waking with regret occurs. Every night sleeping with guilt happens. Every moment in between, reminders of destruction arrive. Seeing you winning happens. Seeing you glowing is visible. Seeing you surrounded by people who actually appreciate you is observable, and torture is the result. Reaching out is desired. Apologizing is wanted. Explaining is wished for. Another chance is hoped for. But knowledge that timing ran out exists. You moved to frequencies they can't access anymore. You ascended to levels they can't reach, not because pettiness drives you, not because grudges hold you, but because worth recognition defines you now, value understanding characterizes you now, knowledge of what you deserve is clear now. What you deserve is not someone who chose enemies over you. What you deserve is not someone who believed lies instead of defending your character. What you deserve is not someone who betrayed you when need was greatest. What you deserve is not someone requiring your loss to recognize your value. What you deserve is someone seeing your light and protecting it from day one. Someone hearing lies about you and immediately defending you. Someone standing by you even when unpopularity results. Someone choosing you consistently, not conditionally. Choice was made. Living with it is required now. Chaos over peace was chosen. Drama over stability was selected. Lies over truth were preferred. Toxic people over genuine connection were picked. Strangers over someone who actually knew them were believed. Wrong was chosen. Massively, tragically, irreversibly wrong. Now watching your ascension without participation is required. Seeing your thriving in absence is mandatory. Recognizing that your success required none of their presence is forced. Understanding that your improvement occurred without their energy is clear. That realization is its own punishment. That knowledge is its own consequence. That truth is its own justice. It's not just the loss of your presence, it's the recognition of their own weakness. See, chosen one, when someone allows themselves to be manipulated against you, when they allow poison to infiltrate their mind, when they choose to believe lies over lived experience, they're revealing something fundamental about their character. And now they have to live with that revelation about themselves. This person has to wake up every day knowing they were weak, knowing they lacked discernment, knowing they were easily played, knowing they abandoned someone genuine because strangers with agendas told them to. That's a hard reality to face in the mirror. That's a brutal truth to carry in your chest. That's a heavy burden to drag through daily life. And there's no escaping it, because the evidence surrounds them constantly. They see the toxic people they chose to believe, and these people are now showing their true colors in their own life. The drama doesn't stop, the manipulation doesn't end, the chaos doesn't settle, because toxic people don't change their nature, they just shift targets. And now this person who betrayed you is living in the reality of the choice made. Every day brings fresh evidence that the wrong side was chosen. Meanwhile, evidence of your peace is everywhere they look. Your social media shows growth, your energy shows elevation, your life shows blessing. And the contrast is devastating. They're drowning in drama while you're swimming in peace. They're struggling in chaos while you're thriving in order. They're trapped in toxicity while you're surrounded by genuine love. The comparison isn't just unfavorable, it's destroying them from the inside out. What makes this even more torturous for them is watching opportunities come your way that could have been shared experiences, seeing you reach new levels that they could have celebrated with you, witnessing blessings flow into your life that they could have been part of, observing success manifest for you that they could have supported, but they chose to stand with your enemies instead. And now all they can do is watch from a distance as everything unfolds without them. The phone stays silent now, no random texts checking in, no voice notes sharing daily life, no video calls about nothing and everything. That connection was severed by their choice. That access was removed by their decision. That intimacy was destroyed by their actions. And getting it back isn't possible, not because you're being cruel, but because trust once shattered this completely can't be rebuilt. Some bridges once burned can't be reconstructed. They wonder if you think about them. They wonder if you miss them. They wonder if forgiveness is possible. They wonder if time will heal this wound. But what they don't understand is that you're not sitting around thinking about them at all. You processed it. You healed from it. You learned from it. You grew beyond it. You're not stuck in the past like they are. You're thriving in the present and building your future. They're a closed chapter in a book that's still being written, and the current chapters are far more interesting, and perhaps the most painful part for them is realizing that you're genuinely better off without their energy in your space, not because you're being petty or trying to prove a point, but because toxic associations, even when they come from people we cared about, drain energy that could be used for elevation. Your life improved in their absence, your peace increased when their chaos left, your clarity sharpened when their confusion was removed, your path straightened when their distraction was eliminated. The person at the center of this operation experiences complete meltdown currently, doing things never imagined possible, saying things sworn never to be said, compromising in ways that would have disgusted them before, all to keep truth buried, all to avoid exposure, all to maintain control of narratives already escaped from grasp. Fake apologies to people they hate are being performed. Pretending to reconcile with people they can't stand is happening. Sweet-talking someone toxic just to maintain silence is occurring. Offering body, money, resources, whatever buys time, is the current strategy. Negotiations with someone threatening to expose everything are underway. Someone who attended secret meetings, someone who knows all coordination details, all lies, all manipulation tactics. This threatening person has them by the throat. Knowledge of this is clear, so playing nice happens. Acting concerned occurs. Pretending care exists is the performance. Offering whatever maintains illusions a little longer is the deal. But houses of cards describe this situation. One strong wind causes complete collapse. One person breaking ranks causes total crumbling. Sitting on time bombs with audible ticking, feeling the countdown, knowing explosions approach, and stopping it proves impossible. But manipulators don't operate that way. Accountability isn't taken, fault isn't admitted, wrongdoing isn't acknowledged, doubling down happens. Gaslighting continues, deflecting occurs, blaming persists, victim playing happens even when perpetrator roles are obvious. Right now, every card in decks is being played trying to avoid exposure. The irony, all this desperate effort just makes exposure worse. All this frantic manipulation just adds to evidence. All these fake apologies and desperate deals just confirm guilt. More karma gets created with every move. Holes get dug deeper with every action. Inevitable consequences get worse with every decision. And involvement in this chaos is zero. No scrambling on your part, no panic consuming you, no desperate deals being made, no begging anyone to stay quiet. You remain peaceful, ascending to higher levels, while drowning in their own poison characterizes them. That's the difference between operating in truth versus operating in lies. People who came against you will remember this, how lies crumbled under truth's weight, how manipulation backfired spectacularly, how coordination failed despite all effort, how they panicked and threatened and desperately tried avoiding exposure, how watching you ascend while descending themselves felt, and warnings will be served to anyone else thinking about coming against chosen ones. You don't touch chosen ones. You don't plot against protected people. You don't try destroying someone operating in divine purpose, because doing so means not fighting just that person. Fighting the universe itself becomes reality. Battling cosmic forces becomes necessary. Opposing divine energy becomes required, and that fight, loss happens every single time, without exception. So chosen one, as this chapter closes and new ones open, walk forward with head held high. Walk forward knowing everything that happened prepared you for where you're going. Walk forward, understanding that passing a test not everyone passes occurred. Walk forward, recognizing that protection by forces greater than any enemy you'll ever face exists. Walk forward, confident that your victory isn't just possible, inevitable, guaranteed, already done. The person going crazy right now, threatening people, doing everything to avoid exposure, that's not your concern anymore. That's between them and the universe. That's between them and divine justice. That's between them and karma. Your concern is your continued ascension, your elevated purpose, your expanded impact, your increased blessings, your greater manifestations, because this experience wasn't your story's end, just one chapter, one test, one trial, one transformation, and passing occurred, conquering happened, transcending manifested. Now readiness for what's next exists. More power, more purpose, more impact, more blessings, more success, more elevation, more manifestation, more of everything the universe has been preparing you for. Your enemies wanted to bury you. They didn't know you were a seed. Now look at you, growing, blooming, thriving, ascending, winning. This is what happens when staying rooted in truth, when maintaining integrity, when protecting light, when trusting process, when believing in purpose, when recognizing power. You are unstoppable, you are unbreakable, you are undeniable, you are chosen, and that means everything. Protection when attacked, vindication when accused, elevation when opposed, victory when challenged, triumph when tested, restoration when damaged, justice when wronged. So rest tonight in your victory. Wake tomorrow ready for more, because your story continues being written, your purpose continues unfolding, your destiny continues manifesting. The best chapters still ahead, greatest victories still coming, highest elevations still waiting, most powerful manifestations still forming. Now go forth and live like the chosen one you are. Walk in your power, operate in your purpose, shine in your light, stand in your truth, thrive in your peace, dominate in your space, win in your lane, conquer in your calling, because that's what chosen ones do. We don't just survive, we thrive. We don't just endure, we conquer. We don't just overcome, we dominate. We don't just win, we reign. Your victory was always inevitable. From the moment attacks came against you, their defeat was sealed. From the second coordination of attacks began, their exposure was guaranteed. From the instant lies spread, their truth was doomed. Chances never existed for them, because you're not just anyone, you're chosen, and chosen ones always win in the end.